What's up, guys? Welcome to our first video on electronics beginner series. So in this video I'm going to share with you what I know about electronics and also guide you through for those that are starting electronics new. When I started electronics, this basic idea that I'm going to share with you guys helped me a lot when I started electronics when I started learning electronics. So what are those things? First, when I started electronics, there are some basic things that you must bear in mind that will help you. This is a guideline for those that are starting newly in electronics. So those things are, under electronics, we have what we call active component and passive component. So when I started, these two things was the basic thing that I knew then, and it really helped me a lot. So in this video I'm going to share with you what is active component and passive component. Once you have this basic idea of active and passive component, this will go a long way. It will guide you in electronics while learning electronics. So when we talk about active component, what do we mean by active component? So we say that active components are those devices or components which require some amount of external source for them to operate, which simply means that for a component, for any active component, any component that falls in this category must need an external source, must need how will I put it, must need a specified voltage for it to work. Just for example, looking at this pen, and the work of this pen is to beam like this. If the work of this pen is to beam like this, for this pen to beam like this, it requires some specified voltage for it to work. For example, for this pen to do like this, it requires 1 volt. So if you apply 0.7 volt, this pen can be able to activate like this. So for this pen to activate and click like this, it must reach up to that 1 volt in order to activate it to perform its work. So that is what we call active component. Any component or any device that requires some specified amount of voltage to work, that component or that device fall under the category of active component. So let's look at the examples of active components. We have the diode, we have the transistor, we have the display, we have detector, emitters, and integrated circuit, which is known as IC. All these components, for them to work, need a specified forward voltage for them to operate. Just like diode. For a diode to conduct, I know that, well, in our upcoming video, I'm going to discuss all these things in details. This first video is just to guide you through those things that you need to bear in mind while starting electronics. So like this diode, it requires 0.7 volts for it to conduct, just like the transistor and other things. So once you know this thing, the device or component that fall under these categories, that is the first ground to start while learning electronics. So this thing helps, this basic idea has helped me a lot when I started learning electronics. So, and then another thing is, the second one is the passive component. So what is passive component? We say that passive components are those devices or components which do not require some amount of external source for them to operate. So this one is different from this one. Any component or device that fall under this category does not require any specified voltage for them to work. Just like the illustration that I use in the active component, like this pen. You know, we say that in the active component, that this pen, for it to click like this, it requires 1 volt. But if this pen fall under the category of this passive component that does not require any external or specified voltage to work, that means if you apply 0.1, it can click. It is not a must that you must apply 1 volt for it to click. So any component that does not require any specified forward voltage for the operation is a passive component. So let's look at the types of passive components. We have the resistor, the relay, switch, capacitor, inductors. All these things I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you in our upcoming videos how they operate. So this is our first video, and this is the basic thing that you need to bear in mind. So this video is just to give you a tip on what to bear in mind to prepare yourself in this our electronics beginner series. So that is the aim of this. This is our first video. You need to be prepared. You need to know the basics. You need to have a foundation. Because when I started the electronics, bear you in mind that electronics is very frustrating. It will frustrate you. That is the basic truth. Electronics can frustrate you. So that's why I'm making out this video, to give you some tips, things that you need to bear in mind so that you'll be fully prepared. So the second tip is that when you are starting electronics, I've talked about the active and the passive. When starting, you need to know which component falls under the active and the passive category. And I have listed some of these components. And the second tip that you need to bear in mind while starting electronics is that you must know the functions of each component and their characteristics in electronic circuits. All these things is what helped me when I started electronics. So bear this in mind, that for you to be good in electronics, to design any circuit, you must know the characteristics, the functions of each component, whether if it is a passive component or active component. Just know their functions, what they do in a circuit. Just like resistor. Even though I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but in an upcoming video, I'm going to discuss it in details. Just like resistor, the work of resistor is to resist current. So all this is the second thing, that you must know the characteristics. What is the function? What is the function of each particular component in a circuit? That is the second tip. Then the third tip is that you must know all the symbol of each electronics component. That is an important tip. That is an important point. You must know their symbol so that you can be able to read any schematic, any circuit diagram. You can go online, search any circuit diagram. You must identify their symbol to know this resistor has a symbol. Switch has a symbol, relay has a symbol, capacitor, all of them have their own symbol. So if you can be able to know their symbol, that is a good one. That is a good starting point for you in electronics. So all these things that I listed there is what helped me while learning electronics. So you must know their symbol, know their functions, what they do in in a circuit. Then the fourth one is that you should know most of the commonly used electronics components in a circuit, and also know their physical look in real life. So what do I mean by what am I saying here is that we have some some commonly used components in circuit that in every circuit you must find them, just like this resistor, capacitor, inductors, switch. All these things are most commonly used component in all circuit. Any circuit, you must see all these things that I just listed. So that is the most important. Just know the most commonly used, so that you will start from there to learn their functions. Just like resistor, you can see resistor in every circuit, capacitor, inductors, diode, all these commonly seen components in every circuit. Just identify them and know what they look like in a real life. That is the fourth tip. Then another one is that when starting electronics, you need some basic practical instruments for this our video electronics video series that we are going to make use of, and I'm going to guide you through how to use them. Just like a multimeter, you must know how to use a multimeter. You need a multimeter. This is the basic thing that you need when starting electronics. After knowing all these things that are listed, bearing all these things that are listed in mind, and which I'm going to tell you as in break the tissue, how they work, their functions, all these things that I just listed, I'm going to walk you through tissue. That is the challenge when I started electronics. When I started electronics, there's no one to help me out. There's no one to put me through all these things. I worked all these things out by myself by making some research. So, but in this series, I'm going to walk you through to make it easy, because this electronics really frustrated my life. So I'm going to walk you through. All you need to do is to subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I upload videos. By you subscribing, will also encourage me to do this video at least 2 times in a week, so that those that want to start electronics can be able to have a guideline, something that will guide them. So in electronics, you need these tools. This is the auto range, and this is the manual thing that you can select the range, the measuring range. So I'm going to teach you how to use all these things if you have never used one. So I'm going to teach you how to use it. Then you need this multimeter. If you want to join us, if you want to join us in this series, you must get a multimeter, either the auto range or this one. You must have one of these, and also their measuring probe. You need this. So all these things, you are going to use it in this electronic series. Then another one that you need, which is a breadboard, because you are not going to do any soldering. These are jumper wires. You need this. You can get it in any electronics vendor. You need these jumper wires. This is what we call breadboard. I'm also going to show you how to use this breadboard step by step. Each topic, I'm going to give you details, break it down. So in this video, I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to show you things that you need in this our electronic series video. So you need this breadboard, and I'm going to show you how to use it. And you need these jumper wires, because we are not going to make any use of we are not going to do any soldering in this course, or maybe as time goes on we might do something like that, but for now you need this. Then another thing is that you need a power supply. This is you can get any 12 volts power supply. See it, like this one that I'm using. It has the range of I'm going to show you. It has the range of 1.5, 3, 4.5 up to 12 volts. So you can select any range, and the maximum power output is 18 watts. at 1000 milliampere. All these things I'm going to talk about it in this electronic series. If you don't know any of these things, I'm going to teach you in this electronic series. So you need a power supply, either the adapter or a battery. You can get a 9-volt battery or 12-volt battery, but make sure that you need a power supply. That is another thing. Then the next thing that we are going to use, but might not be that much, is an oscilloscope. This DIY oscilloscope. This one is beginner friendly. You can get it on AliExpress or Amazon. So you need an oscilloscope, but I'm not going to make use of it for now, but I'm just showing you what we are going to make use of in this electronic series video. And I'm going to show you how to use one of these, how to use any oscilloscope. So then another thing is a soldering iron, but for now we are not going to make any use of, and we are not going to do any soldering for now. For a start, we are going to make use of the breadboard. Then the soldering iron, we are going to suspend it to further notice. Then when we start building projects, then we can make use of this soldering iron. I think that is all for this video. So guys, if you like this video and if you want to learn in electronics, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post video. You subscribing will also encourage me to do more videos and do more projects. There are a lot of I have so many instruments that I'm going to show you along this electronic video series. So all you need to do is to make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon, and make sure you like and share our video.